Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another Krebs Coho Company of Heroes cast. This time around, we're going to be having a little bit of fun on the map. Oh god, here we go, Krebs. You guys are about to get a fistful of pronunciation from Krebs, the very notorious Krebs in his pronunciation. Oh god, here we go. We're going to be having a matchup on the map, Ruins of Rouen. Did I say that right? Hopefully, all you French people maybe can appreciate the pronunciation of that, but hopefully I said that right. If you don't know the pronunciation or the spelling of it, it's Rouen. And so I went on Google, had a quick look just to make sure how to say it, and the pronunciation from a French guy was Rouen. So I find it a little bit interesting. What happened to the, the O, U, E, and N? I mean, I can hear the R, but I'm sort of missing out the other syllables. So this is a thing that I sort of find a bit funny in certain languages. Like, what happened to all those syllables, the rest of them? Actually, it happens a few times in the English language. I can't remember specifically which ones, but you always have those silent letters here and there, and it happens, right? Okay, anyway, so we're going to be having fun on the map Ruins of Rouen. And we're going to be looking at two players, one going by the name of Niksa as the Wehrmacht down over here, and we've also got in the northern corner, IronRoman as the Brit. So a Wehr versus Brit matchup today on the first ever time we've done this map on this channel. So fun stuff, right? Okay, so anyway, we're going to be starting in 5 seconds. We're actually at the 6-second mark, so catch up to the 6-second mark if you are not there. And we're going to be starting in actually 3 seconds. Okay, so in 3, 2, 1, and let's begin. 7, 8, 9, and 10. On we go to another very exciting matchup in the Company of Heroes battlefield. This map really scares me. Oh, this is a little bit of an interesting thing. We've got the first pioneer, actually just going out to cab straight away. Is the other one going to be doing that as well? This is a very unusual strategy. Whoa, there's a lot to talk about in this match already. Oh, okay, very exciting stuff. 3 pioneer starts, and it looks like this one might be going elsewhere, maybe building something. We'll have to see. Anyway, I was just saying, this map actually scares me a little bit. The reason is, if you actually look off the map, I mean, you can see everything on here. I mean, this is Rouen, right? But then when you look off the map a little bit, it's just this black void of nothing. The world just drops off. It's kind of scary, isn't it? I mean, if you extend too far out of the map, you're just going to fall off the face of the earth. So this kind of proves that in Company of Heroes, what you have is a flat world. Everyone is a bunch of flat people. What you see here are flat beings who have to shimmy themselves around in order to see their 3D aspects of them. That is actually a real story, if anyone is actually interested in that. I don't remember the title of the name of that book or whatever the story was, but it was something about flatlanders and basically these people living in flat worlds. It's kind of interesting, but anyway, go have a read of it, Google it, find out what it is. Anyway, okay, so what we've got is a very interesting start from the Wehrmacht over here with their 4 pioneers. Kind of interesting sort of stuff that they're doing, that lots of capping that's going to be coming out of that. And I believe there's actually a strategy that goes behind this. There's when you get the 4, let's say for example with the Americans, whenever they go for the engineers, they always the 4 engineers, they always go out with a sniper afterwards. They go for 4 ES, right? But then again, I've seen a lot of alterations of that recently. I've seen 4 EB where they go for 4 engineers and then the barracks, and it's unusual sort of stuff. I can't really say exactly what the Wehrmacht are going to do here. They've got the 4 engineers. Most likely they're going to be supplementing their force with capping and also the flamethrowers that could be naturally applied onto them. Minesweepers, the stuff alike. But then again, probably not going to happen on this in this round of the minesweepers because, well, the Brits don't commonly place down mines, so there we go, alright? Now I'm just going to follow this motorbike over here so we can just follow the action that's going to be happening on hand. The Brits are just going to be capturing the stuff along the left-hand side. So the main theme of this replay is going to be how to take on Staghounds. If you've ever played 1v1 against Brits, especially more professional ones, you might notice this strategy being put into place. A lot of people are very frustrated with it just because they think it's unbalanced, as in it's a very, very good infantry killer, especially when there's spams of these Staghounds. And so this is going to be a replay focusing on how to take that on in a more effective way, utilizing the every single approach that the Wehrmacht have to actually take it on. So anyway, we've got the Pioneers putting down some mines over here, and the recon squads nonetheless revealing those mines right there. Yes, revealing those mines. So there you go, the very useful effectiveness of the recon squad revealing mines for the Brits. Very, very useful, and as you guys can see, they're actually trying to destroy them. Very useful sort of stuff. Counters the whole point of having mines out for the Wehrmacht at all, doesn't it? But then again, usually the Brits only have one recon squad out anytime in the map, in a match, just because they don't usually go for any more than that. One is usually enough, and that's about it. Anyway, I'm just gonna have a little bit of a drink of my Lemsip over here. I've got a banging headache at the moment. I've actually got exams on at the moment, so maybe that's why you guys have noticed I haven't really produced any Company of Heroes videos lately. Just, you know, some very, very short ones about the announcements of Company of Heroes 2. By the way, that's very, very exciting stuff. I'm sure we all know about it by now. So, Company of Heroes 2 going to be coming out in 2013. Now, yeah, I just got a bit of a banging headache just because I've had exams in the last few days. I've got the last one coming up on Tuesday, also another one on Monday. So, you know what? I have a feeling that this headache is a direct result of studying too much and cramming. So I had to make a sort of analogy here, or a point, that, you know, not only is education, you know, tough, but education is dangerous. Because, no doubt, if I'm going to be cramming so much, I don't doubt it if an artery, you could blow an artery in your brain or something, just through all this cramming. You eventually, after so much cramming, you feel like your brain is going a bit numb, a bit dead. It's like it can't take in any more information. So that's the sort of thing that's going on with me at the moment. I hope you guys don't actually mind me looking at this motorcycle. I just need to take a drink here whilst everything is going on. So I'm having a little bit of Lemsip. If you guys don't know what's in Lemsip, since we're talking about pharmacy, if you don't know what's in Lemsip, well, it depends where you cross it in the waters. In America, you definitely don't have this, but it has common ingredients. Over here in the UK, for example, ingredients, I've just got the box in front of me, paracetamol and phenylephrine. And across the pond over in America, North America, wherever else you are, it's definitely called phenylephrine, I believe. Paracetamol is not called paracetamol in Northern America and some other countries in the world as well. It's called acetaminophen. So you probably know what it is by now. Acetaminophen, common ingredients of Tylenol. Actually, that is what Tylenol is made of. And it's a painkiller. Simply put, it's a painkiller. Helps reduce any pain symptoms that you have. It's an analgesic. And so that's why a lot of people like taking it. It's also a little bit of a strong dose here. 1,000 milligrams. Usually it's in 500 milligrams, but fair enough. That's Lemsip for you. Phenylephrine decongestant, alright? I don't know, I'm sorry that I'm talking about pharmacy here, but I just find it absolutely fantastic. I sometimes just go up to these boxes, like, because I work in a pharmacy, obviously, right? I just go up to the boxes sometimes, and I just focus on what the ingredients are, and I like finding out what these things are. Phenylephrine, decongestant, stabilizes. Actually, it constricts the blood vessels in your nose so that you don't have as much blood flowing through that area, and so you don't have edema, you don't have any sort of mucus or liquid coming out of your fluids coming out of your blood vessels as much, and so it reduces any mucus production and unblocks your nose through vasoconstriction. But anyway, it's a weak decongestant. I'm sure you guys don't really care about it that much. You just go to your pharmacist and just ask him whatever they could recommend. Anyway, so let's focus on what's going on in the field at the moment. We've got the guys over here, the Wehrmacht, just putting a stance over on the left-hand side, just grabbing some stuff, with the sensor taking a little bit of capping, and also the right-hand side with the Brits just decapping some stuff over there. So it's all in all a jumbled mess. This is what ruins of Rouen looks like, by the way. You've got these quite a lot of munitions points on this map, tons and tons. You can see the medium ones, you can see also the small ones in the center. You've got a few fuel points with the low ones over here, and also the medium points scattered across the sides. And the Brit being the typical Brit, just parking down the their headquarters on the munitions point over here, and also their field support truck over on the right hand side, low fuel point as well. So anyway, guys, now the whole point of this was that I was supposed to tell you about the Staghounds. Now, it's sort of a critical thing. How can you anticipate Staghounds? How can you anticipate those things so that you can be best prepared? And obviously the best way to prepare for Staghounds is by having anti-armor, anti-tank, and obviously you're going to need a lot because they're specifically tailored towards killing infantry. So that means your Panzerschrecks, your packs, your flaks, whatever. So you need a lot of anti-tank to take on spams of Staghounds. So it's this anticipation, knowing when to anticipate it. The best clue, in my opinion, for anticipating Staghounds is, well, specifically time. Time and just seeing what your opponent builds. Do they come out with sappers that have Piats on them? Do the sappers come out with wrenches, for example, with the advanced repairs? It takes a lot of consideration. You have to see what happens over time. Are they going for any Stewarts or anything like that? If they are going for Stewarts, then chances are they're delaying things. If they're going for Cromwells, well, obviously probably not going to be going for Staghounds. Also depends what their sappers have. For example, if the sappers have Piats, then what they're going to be using is probably more of an offensive force with just like Cromwells, and then supplementing that with some anti-tank in the form of sappers. Maybe they'll mix it in with some Bren squads to button down vehicles and stuff like that. That's what usually happens. But now if you have, for example, with the sappers over here, they have specifically the upgrade on them where they're more capable of over repairing their tanks, and so maybe this is giving you a bit of a clue. Well, they've got that ability. Obviously it means that they're going to be maybe working towards vehicles, Cromwells, Fireflies, could be any vehicle, could be Stags. So I think that signal alone means you need anti-tank. It doesn't necessarily mean that Staghounds are going to come out, but it means that tanks are going to come out. And so you need to anticipate it. Get out those Panzerschrecks, get out those packs as soon as you possibly can. So I want to see what the Wehrmacht are going to be supplementing this. Well, it looks like they've actually shortcomed their strategy a little bit and gone for the T2 Krieg barracks, and they're getting out the pack, and also Grenadier squads here upgrading to the Panzerschrecks. Very good stuff. Notice how they're sort of low on their manpower. They could have maybe gone for a T3 Sturm Armory because they've got quite a bit of fuel at the moment. But then again, maybe it's a little bit of a stretch. It's a bit beyond what they're capable of. So that's maybe why they're actually stopping a bit short. Going to be going for the packs and also the Panzerschrecks because they're all very good anti-tank in their own respect. Don't get me wrong, they're very good anti-tank in their own respect. Obviously Stogs, for example, are very good from the Sturm Armory, but then again, you know, they're still very good with their the packs and the Panzerschrecks. So what we got, this is also another very good sign, is if you see the infantry, they're coming in very small numbers. Notice how these attacks, only 2 squads. It's not a blob or anything that maybe you would usually see from the Brits. It's not a blob whatsoever. So that just means that any resources are being spent on vehicles. And so what we got is that first Staghound being produced by IronRoman. Notice how he's actually using his guys to over repair it, so there's going to be extra health on it. Now that's exactly what I mean by these sappers with that there's upgrades, so that they can over repair their vehicles, and that is a sign of a vehicle is going to be coming out. Okay, so if you can see sappers with that upgrade, then you can anticipate vehicles. That's when you know you should be definitely spending all of your resources towards getting anti-tank. And so here we go, doing a very, very useful thing with his sappers by over repairing his vehicles. Now I think you should actually be doing this just before they go out into combat. Reason being because the over repair has a threshold. Basically, it can get something like an extra, it depends which tank it is, but say for example, it can get an extra, I don't know, 75 health points, but its maximum that it can get, its threshold is 75 health points, but its maximum it can get is say 150 health points. But once they stop over repairing at 150 health points, it slowly starts decreasing until that threshold of 75. That's an example, right? And so that's why I think it's a bit better to get it, use them just before they go out into combat, so they have the most maximum amount of health. But then again, maybe it doesn't really matter. Maybe there's still plenty of time in between them traveling onto the battlefield where they're still going to reach the threshold anyway. So there we go. We've got the Staghounds just coming out, and two of them, two numbers right over here. And now the Wehrmacht being chased away knows that he needs anti-tank. He's not too happy at all. In fact, he knows what's probably going to be coming, because you can see in the chat box, he probably has been up against a strategy before and has not ended it well at all. So now what we've got is the pack being revealed, the motorcycle getting absolutely shredded apart right here, mine right beside the motorcycle, but the Staghound's not going to be going on top of it. Also got, what do we got? We've got For the Fatherland coming out for the Wehrmacht over here. Good stuff. This is what I mean. This is what I wanted to talk about with, in terms of the utilizing all their capabilities for the Wehrmacht. The defensive doctrine is definitely a great doctrine to go for against all of the Staghounds. Because the For the Fatherland, simply put, For the Fatherland, it does very good stuff. I can't remember the exact specifics, but something like, you know, you get a reduced amount of damage by 30%, a reduced accuracy by 25%, you get reduced suppression by 75%, for example. That is big stuff to keep your guys alive a lot longer than they normally would. That is really important. And so when you're mixing in with all these infantry, For the Fatherland, they have the Panzer Strikes, they have a lot more capability in staying alive than they would normally. Otherwise, they'd probably get shredded apart, and that's them gone. So now we've got all these Staghounds, take out all these infantry. We've also got the multiple squads out from the Brits over here, trying to supplement their Staghounds. Notice how they've actually got a double recon squad, so one of them was actually upgraded with the sniping ability, so that they could use their marksmen, most likely against the snipers over here. So one of the best counters for the Brits against snipers is the marksman ability. Just that one-time usage of munitions to try and kill these guys. One really thing that you have to take into consideration is retreating snipers, because I believe you have a 50% chance of actually sniping them on retreat. So if the Wehrmacht got revealed, you could retreat them, and, you know, 50% chance you spend that munitions either as a hit or loss on those munitions, right? Anyway, so we've got the Wehrmacht coming out here with lots and lots of anti-tank now. They know a spam is impending, so two packs, two Panzer Shrek squads over here. Also got the infantry getting some veterancy out on them with Vet 2 infantry, so that's going to be the, oh, excuse me, also the elite armor for the Grenadiers over here, just making them hardier against small arms fire, and just harder to kill in general. And that's definitely what they need. Vet 3 would definitely be a good thing as well, if they could get an extra 20% maximum health, especially against these Staghounds, just keeping them alive longer, right? I'm going to take another sip of my Lemsip over here, whilst everything else is going on. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. It tastes like lemon. Sorry about that. I'm just looking at the back of the box, and you got some other ingredients in this Lemsip. You also got ascorbic acid, sucrose, aspartame. I'm surprised there's not actually anything more in there. If you don't understand maybe why that stuff is in there, sucrose and aspartame is definitely in there for the sweetener effect. It's kind of interesting that it put aspartame in there, because it's an artificial sweetener. So, you know, if they're trying to appeal to diabetics, then why the hell did they put sucrose in there? It doesn't really make sense to me. But then again, it's probably just putting there for the sweetening effect. Also, ascorbic acid, vitamin C, probably in there to help the absorption of the phenylephrine and paracetamol, I imagine. At least that's what I would imagine, because for example, if you're anemic, if you're iron deficient anemic, then what they'll actually recommend a lot of times when you're taking ferrous sulfate, you know, your iron supplements, is that they'll actually give you some vitamin C, ascorbic acid, just because it helps the absorption of iron supplements. So that's what I imagine they would be putting that in for. Anyway, guys, heading on over here, we've got finally the Staghounds coming in, collapsing this building, wrecking some havoc. and kicking some ass as they're going through the ruins of Rouen. So the Staghounds being like a wolf pack, aren't they? Oh my god, did you hear that immense fire by the Flak 88 over here? This is another great, awesome counter against the Staghounds. Flak 88, you can't get better than that. I mean, the Flak 88 does a massive amount of damage from long range, but then again, its limitation is that there's infantry on it, and there you go. Simple as 2 guys being killed and the 3rd one committing suicide. These guys are getting shredded apart here. We've got multiple recon squads, four Staghounds, 1 being destroyed, but oh my god, look at, how are the Wehrmacht gonna come from this? Look at that, they lost the 88, they lost 2 packs, MG, and now their flak is being captured. Everything is retreating. For the fatherland is being called out, so they're fighting on the front over here. My god, we're gonna have to see what happens with these double squads. Whilst everything is going down, you've got the... Oh god, this is so much action going on. I gotta put down my love sip. Just gotta take a panoramic view. You can see over in the background what we've got are snipers taking out the MG and also the Flak 88. Thank god. Whew! That was really, really close stuff right there. I mean, if those snipers weren't there, that Flak 88 would wreak havoc on the Wehrmacht's base. Notice how there's also the guys on top. When you get to fortify the perimeter, you get these guys on top with their MGs. Also really good in defending the base because he had those recon squads. And so at least these MGs would be able to kill them off a bit and also suppress them. But there you go. These Panzerschrecks really just holding in here, calling down that for the fatherland. They really needed it. They were maneuvering their guys around the building to get them reinforced so they wouldn't actually lose the squads, and that is just perfect. That's what they needed right there. For the fatherland, saving the day. Despite all these casualties with the packs and also the flak and everything like that, these 2 squads alone just held on in there as long as they could, and that was definitely a great job by the Wehrmacht to keep themselves in there against the impending doom of the Staghound spam. And so we've got some commandos coming down for the Brits at the moment because I guess they want to really take out these snipers over here and take on the Grenadiers as well. But then again, the Brit has lost so much at the moment. He's losing so many guys, he's lost so many Staghounds, and he's only got, literally, maybe if we switch on over to him, we can find out exactly what he has. IronRoman, he's got a few squads out, but he's lost a lot, and I think that's the point of what's going on. He's lost a lot. He's lost this HQ glider, or this glider just in general, and that's it. That's it. Now he's just having to work again from step 1. Right? There we go. The Staghound just moving on forward with the half-injured, half-filled squads moving on forward, and I guess he must have been low on resources there. And it looks like IronRoman actually dropping out of the game there, maybe getting disconnected, but I have a feeling probably dropping out of the game because he knew he lost a lot there. But at the same time, I mean, the Wehrmacht lost quite a bit as well, so I think they all should have stayed in the game. I think IronRoman should have stayed in the game because, I mean, even though he lost all the Staghounds, it wasn't like the Wehrmacht didn't take a lot of damage there at the same time as well. So, anyway, well done to niksa for winning that match. That gives you guys a general gist of how to anticipate Staghounds or armor in general from the Brits, and also how to take them on more effectively. If you're the Wehrmacht, go for that defensive doctrine, get down the flak, get down the for the fatherland especially, and you'll survive a little bit longer. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the replay, and of course, until next time, I will see you all later. Bye-bye.